Hello, and thank you for joining me once again on Duty Found. This time we're going into the Wanderer's Palace, the first level 50 dungeon in Final Fantasy XIV. This dungeon is going to be introducing several new mechanics for the jobs. Being level 50, you get full access to all of your skills, as well as access to much higher level gear. So you may notice that the characters and players are going to be much more higher power with relation to the enemies. Being that this is one of the older level 50 dungeons, there is an item level sync, so you are capped as far as how potent you become with regards to your gear. The gear I'm wearing is eye level 130, so it's synced down to eye level 110. Alright, as I'd mentioned previously, the average dungeon here is much quicker now that we're level 50 than before, so this should be pretty fast-paced. I'll try and talk through what we're doing, but this is one of the... well, I should start over here. The Wanderer's Palace is one of the original 2 dungeons that were level 50 when this game was released. As such, it's really been keyed to speedruns. People have gotten down just the right pacing to be able to get this down really quickly. We used to grind it out quite a bit, do these dungeons several times a day just to cap out our tomestones. This tank isn't tagging everything as it's coming in, so there's some hangers about, but I'm going to throw out some damage here. The nice thing about being level 50, I now have access to Benediction. It is an instant cast, full heal on the tank, or on whoever I'm targeting. So I don't need to switch out of Cleric stance. I don't need to worry about MP, and it just instantly goes off. It's really nice for when you've got these large pulls. You just don't want to be bothered to switch out of your healing stance, or out of your DPS stance. Didn't need it that time, but that is how it goes. Now, one thing you can do here is, when you're doing a full speedrun, you can lock most of these mobs out of the upcoming boss room. What you'll do is you'll target this Tonberry first. Put a sign on it. You'll single target that one down first while the Black Mage sleeps it, but we don't have a Black Mage, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So we're probably just going to kill these. So I'm going to get a couple holies in, throw some damage out, get some stuns, and just drop these pretty quickly. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and Benediction this set. So I'll get another spell off, drop Benediction, tank topped off, and then just keep casting. Okay, now we're coming up to the first boss already. This boss is not too much to worry about. It is the Keeper of Hallam. It's got a couple things that it can do, but it's really just pretty much a basic tank and spank. And it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so I'm just going to help out with something here. and this has been the first boss of Wanderer's Palace. Part of the mechanic of this dungeon is using these Nimian devices to open up the gates to the rest of the dungeon. And we're probably going to pull the entirety of this next batch into one pull. So go ahead and buff the tank, toss them an eye for an eye. They're going to hopefully start tagging things as they run in. Now you'll notice my benediction is still on cooldown. That is a full 5-minute cooldown timer. But it's more of a luxury than anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch into my cleric stance, throw some holies, and be ready to swap at a moment's notice. Like so. Alright, the tonberries drop the lamp oil that you use to use the rusted devices. So there we go, that's the other device that's taken care of. So we're going to run up here. There's another Nimian device in this room. So there's the 3 skeletons there, that device, and then we've got a wandering Tonberry stalker there. That is, if you can't actually damage it, it's just going to wander about. I'm going to pull these, so they'll come up without too much hassle. Now, hopefully, the tank moves over here. There we go. See, the stalker's coming up. But we should be out of his detection range, because he'll be turning into that room right there. So, let's get some holies out. Get this pack taken care of, without too much fuss. And we'll move on. We're actually getting close to the next boss already. Pick up the lantern oil, stone skin on the tank, and then we'll move on. Now there's a couple ways to deal with this. You can either kill these 2 here, which is probably what we're going to be doing, or no, looks like we're just going to pass on. So I'm going to turn that off, regen the tank, so that the mobs will be on me. I'm just going to pick these up. So that one of the other party members can get the gate down there while the mobs are targeted on me. We're going to run up here. Here's the boss. I'm going to stop right here at the edge. Alright, the summoner is going to pull the boss, and we'll just wait here for the gate to lock. Alrighty. So the other mobs are stuck outside. There we go. Now this boss is actually kind of fun. It's got 2 major mechanics. One, you can dodge all of its cast by line of sighting it. Additionally, it's going to randomly target someone, and there it goes, it's going to charge up a hefty ability. But you can interrupt it like so. When we were doing this originally, the person that it targeted would get hit by that big attack, and if you didn't get out of the way by running away like that, it would pretty much just one-shot you. So it was really dangerous. Okay, and that is the second boss of Wanderer's Palace. Again, nothing too much to worry about. Okay, we'll see what the tank is comfortable with here, whether or not they'll take the whole room or not. Okay, looks like they will. Or not. Stopping a little early. That's fine. Or, okay, I don't think they realize what they're doing. I've got Benediction back, so I'm just going to sit here and hold it a little bit. Kind of play the chicken with the tank's HP here. Let them get low, pop Benediction, and keep holding. Alrighty. There's lantern oil somewhere. I think we already picked it up. Yep, we did. Cool. So there's these two Tonberries to get the last lantern oil. Now ideally when you're doing this you want to save your limit break so your caster can limit break these as well. So you'll get all of those mobs as well as these, and that limit break is going to do a lot of damage to them. So that your regular AoE will be able to finish them off. But we use the LB during the last boss, so stay living. Alright, picking up that last lantern oil, opening up the last rusted device. That opens the door to the last boss already. Here we come upon the Tonberry King. This boss is going to be more of a traditional Tonberry. As you kill the other Tonberries that spawn in the arena, he's going to get stacks of Rancor. Now that Rancor is going to make, when he uses Everyone's Grudge, do a lot of damage. Ideally you don't want to have more than 4 stacks or so. Aside from that, he doesn't really hit very hard, so I'm just going to DPS a lot, and when it comes time for Rancor, we'll see if I feel like healing. Just using everybody's grudge. I only had 1 or 2 stacks there, so it didn't do a whole lot to the tank. Get the fresh stone skin on them, and regen, and go back to DPS. Okay, now there are several of these. Now he's got 4 stacks, so the next one will probably hurt, but I don't think we're even going to see it. I'm just gonna take him down before it even gets to that point. There we go. That has been the Wanderer's Palace. This is just about the normal pacing for the level 50 dungeons from here on out. So this is kind of what you want to look forward to. Quick pace, everybody throw in DPS to just get this done as quickly as possible. That said, this is probably the easiest of them. Things get more intense as you go further along, and you just need to start paying closer attention, and it really just brings out the best in people when you're able to get the speedruns like that. People hone their skills and are able to get the most efficient damage out of their classes. Tanks are able to mitigate damage so that you can get more of that flexibility there. As with many situations, having a good healer and a good tank are really the lubrication to make the parties work. Having a healer that is comfortable switching back and forth between damaging and healing, having a tank that knows how big to do the pulls, how to tag everything on the way in, it really just, everyone works together to get these runs to go quickly and smoothly. Alrighty, thanks again for joining me, and next time we'll be going into Amdapor Keep, the second of the dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV. Originally it was the harder of the two, however it was since scaled down to match difficulty with this one. Alrighty, have a good night everybody.